I want to win the FA Cup for Sunderland before I'm 30. No, not a Halloween Horror Story Kids, but Jordan Henderson's Bebo profile. Last weekend, David went to Anfield, where he was asking Liverpool fans
whether they think Jordan Henderson is good enough for a title challenge.
Yes. He is, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. He's the captain of the club.
If he's good enough for Jurgen Klopp, I think he's good enough for anybody.
No, I'm not so sure. He's good enough to be a squad player. Maybe not every match.
The technical capabilities is a little bit too weak.
We need someone a bit more imperious on the pitch, and Van Dijk would make a very good captain.
Yeah, it's no longer a 11-man game. I mean, it's realistically a 20-man squad, and over 38 games, you can't do it without strong players, and he's strong enough.
So that's what the fans think. Now let's put it to the numbers.
If we make the reasonable presumption that Liverpool's main challengers for the title this season are Manchester City and Chelsea, then Jordan Henderson has his clear counterparts in Fernandinho and Jorginho. Today we're going to explore whether Henderson is good enough in his role when compared to his competitors. These players are easy to characterize as their on-the-ball style is disproportionately dominated by one feature: build-up passing. So how do we investigate which of these players is better at his job? All three of them are so proficient at passing and keeping the ball that we're hardly going to get any signal there. Should we then look at XG or XA? This strikes me as a bit problematic because arguably their contribution happens much deeper than the actual chance getting. Our Liverpool correspondent Sam Maguire says, "When playing against opposition that sit deep, Henderson doesn't take enough risks to progress the ball. Instead, maybe we should be looking at the more general notion of ball progression and deep playmaking." Let's look at how these players move the ball through the middle third of the pitch, which is arguably their main stomping ground. A Henderson pass in this area on average advances his team by 5.7 meters, which is slightly more than both those of Fernandinho and Jorginho. So, are we wrong to doubt his ball progression? Well, we know that advancing through build-ups is much more complicated. A smart player might make a horizontal pass that allows his teammates to then actually advance. So, it's worth looking at the next sequence of events for a fuller picture. A second pass after they had the ball at their feet, and now Fernandinho's contribution has allowed City to push further forward. If we keep looking further in the future after they've made their move, Henderson's contribution starts to look more stale than the other two. Even if we suspect we're conflating Henderson's ball progression with that of Liverpool in general, the same result is found when comparing him with Granit Xhaka and Eric Dyer, at teams that are considered less proficient at pushing forward than Liverpool. So, is this lack of verticality from Henderson's build-up actually affecting Liverpool's chance getting? Since the beginning of the 2017-18 season, Henderson has gotten 1.04 XA from the middle third of the pitch, marginally less than Fernandinho and Jorginho. However, as we just saw, what we really care about with these players isn't direct assists, but rather the danger they create when orchestrating moves from deep. If we look for shots taken 2 passes after they've had the ball in the middle third, Henderson still comes out bottom, same as when we add a third pass. In fact, if we look at the total XG since the beginning of the 17-18 season of moves that have involved each player, also known as XG chain, Henderson is bottom of the list even if we include Granit Xhaka and Eric Dyer.
So there we have it. According to the data, at least Jordan Henderson is not quite cutting it when we compare him with other number 6s at Liverpool's title rivals. Where should we go next? Let us know in the comments below. But in the meantime, this has been 3 Minute Myths, delusions debunked in 180 seconds.